Jimbo.
Court is in session with Ryan in Sacktown on If You Don't Like That. Now, Ryan in Sacktown.
Oh, must be Ryno.
Well. The most diabolical haters this side of the Mississippi.
Yeah, just like Tristan, the most diabolical, fun hater this side of the Mississippi. What's up? Happy Tuesday. We start our week a day late here on the King's Court, unless you caught the podcast yesterday. Put out a what I thought was a little bit of an inside baseball, behind the curtain, if we're going to use a wrestling type of term, about just kind of how this whole thing is formed, what we do here, what shaped it, and a lot of that has been all of you. So if you listen to that, thank you very much. If you're a Jim Rome fan, go listen to it, because it'll show you a little bit of the gray area between how we got here and kind of some influence. So anyways, not a lot going on in sports. It's NBA schedule release week, so we'll get to what we know about the schedule so far. Football camp still going on. Every team will be in action this week, so we can get to that as well. We never hit the Zach LaVine side of the Anthony Slater article. I think it is good that we hit that, because last week when we talked to Jerry, it's something even I was not putting a big emphasis on, but I'm like, damn, it is his contract year. And if I'm Zach LaVine, and did you hear what Jerry thought his value would be on the open market this year? He thought it was about $12 million, I want to say. Maybe it was less. No, I think it was about 12 off the top of my head. And we've seen contracts just be tiny for some guys, especially guys that you don't know injury-wise if they're going to be available. And Zach's been better about that here in Sacramento, but he's got something to prove for sure. So we can talk about that as well. We'll probably do some Ry-Dohs. Yes, I know a few of you've been trolling me online, and it is well-deserved. I was not.
I'm not a smart man.
When I put out a joke on X, many of you, both clones and King's Quarters, were quick to respond. So thank you to everybody watching on YouTube. Thank you for everybody watching on X, listening on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, your preferred podcast platform. Happy you're here. Again, numbers on the podcast have been fabulous. So thank you. And if you want to take the show a different way, take it a different way. It is that time of year. If you want to call the show, there's something else that you want to talk about that we are not hitting, do it. I'll put the link that's over the image on the screen. I'll put that in the chat as well. We will be on the road today, obviously. We'll be on the road tomorrow as well. But guess what? Tomorrow is Jerry Reynolds Wednesday. So those conversations go by so quick. Super quick and super fun. Good job by all of you with some of the questions last week. We got an update on the Beezer Carnes story. In fact, him and Larry Bird were talking about it. We also found out that Jerry's lost both front teeth twice. One of them was in a fight. So that's the kind of fun stuff that we can kind of get into when it's the slow time of the year. It's a time for change. A lot of times in media markets, it was about this time last year that we announced we were headed over to Fox, and change is still going on in this market. Some that, stink, that are part of life, and other change that, it's just part of the business. So a couple people that I want to talk about, and then certainly the passing of Don Nelson. How about that? Close group of fans in this area for what he's done down in the Bay Area, what he did in basketball overall, and just how he lived his life in general. He did it his way. I know that's cliche, but there were things that he was very much an advocate of. And when he checked out of basketball, he went and enjoyed those things, lived over in Maui. And man, any place better to live than Maui? Like, okay, hot take. If you're going to Hawaii and you've never been to Hawaii, Maui's the island to go to. It ain't the big island. Maybe, and I've not been there, Kauai, I hear that. But Maui's the island that you got to go. That's where it's at. Just saying. All right, so schedule coming out. Sean Cunningham has already broken the Kings a couple of opening games. So according to sources, and this is what happens during schedule week, we're going to get the leaks. We've already got Shams, who's given us the opening night games, the Christmas games, which we'll get to in a second. In fact, we've got the entire Christmas lineup, both NFL and NBA. But the Kings will open their season on October 21st in LA against the Clippers. I wonder if our guy Tay will be down there. I wonder if we will have a result and a punishment on the Clippers before that game tips off we're really, let's see, today's the 11th. We are about 3 months away. Well, no, September, October. Yeah, we're not that far away. I mean, training camp, media day, it's going to be here quick. That's going to be probably the last week of September. Guys are getting open runs in. They're playing in leagues. So summer leagues, I should say, like the Drew League, etc. I know, I forget the name of the league, but DeAndre Hunter got some run in one. Not too late. Breaking news. Oh, we have breaking news. Excuse me. Let me break format because this is really important.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. Ladies and gentlemen,
Peter Anderson is late to the show. That's your breaking news. Peter Anderson late to the show. Grant asked me last night about the Kings schedule, and I said it in half jest. It doesn't matter what the schedule looks like. It's not like this team is going to be vying for a top 6 spot in the West. Now, I say that with a grain of salt. Certainly, you don't want to see them go through the ringer like they did last year for the first 2 months of the season. I mean, we said when that schedule came out, if the Kings could be at 500 come Thanksgiving, they might have a chance to get the play in, or they were never going to be a 6 seed last season because of the injuries, but the schedule was the hardest up until Thanksgiving, and then it got relatively easier. But what happened? They were out of it by Thanksgiving. So I would like to see a little bit of an easier open for this team, especially because you're going to be playing the young guys, or at least that's all the indications we've gotten from Scott Perry and Doug Christie. So you get the Clippers. How about that? October 21st in LA against the Clippers. And then you get 2 days off, and they will have their home opener at the G1C against Golden State. That was a fun game last season, the last home game for the Kings against the Golden State Warriors. A lot of people remember that one. So we've got those two for the Kings, and these are going to keep leaking out. One thing, and Grant hit this, it was exactly where I was going to go as well with the schedule, is I do not want to see 3 East Coast road trips. It's inevitable. You're going to be on the East Coast a few times, but specifically the last 2 seasons, maybe even 3, the Kings have had a third late road trip to the East. I don't want to see that again. I would like to see that cleaned up, but with scheduling and the arenas, etc., and other things that are going on, you never know what's going to happen. Now, let's get to the opening night games. Hey, I got great news. if you're LeBron James, how happy are you? You're playing opening night in New York, and you don't even have to get in the helicopter to play. This is a home game for LeBron James, allegedly, that he'll be living in New York playing for the Sixers. So there you go. There's one for you. A lot of people upset. They feel like this is taking away some oomph from the New York Knicks and their title celebration. I think it's great. I have no problem with it. Let the Knicks run those old dudes off the court that are coming in from Philadelphia. Well, most of them are coming in from Philadelphia. LeBron will already be in New York, allegedly, commuting. And then you also get, of course, Oklahoma City and San Antonio. So there's your opening night games. Now let's get to Christmas. We've got Christmas games. Look at that, dude. When did Christmas become one of the best sporting days of the year? You start off at 12 p.m., Wemby in the Garden. Then you get Packers, Bears. I mean, this is one of those things where you've got to pitch the wife for a second TV for Christmas. This might cement it. If you're one of those guys that's like, I want to hang a second one in the living room, here's where you do it. You send this picture to her and you say, second TV, Christmas, taken care of. All good. Because you've got the Spurs and the Knicks at 12. You've got the Packers and the Bears. Heat and the Celtics, Bills and the Broncos, Lakers, Sixers. You've got Thunder, Timberwolves. You know where I'm gonna be. Rams, Seahawks. Let's go. And the night ends with. By the way, can we just stop with the Aaron Donald stuff? The Rams are already really, really good. In fact, as a Seahawks fan, I have the Rams winning the NFC West. I can't put the Seahawks ahead of them, even though they're coming off the championship. But you get Aaron Donald, yes, they're going to be even better, but it is what it is. The guy's probably coming back. Who wouldn't come back with that type of situation? Playing with Myles Garrett on the other side. So it's just this Aaron Donald watch that's going on in Los Angeles. It's crazy. You're seeing the dude like training in the pool, draining, like he'll take a full Alhambra jug with one arm and then hold it and dump it all out. Yeah, he's strong. He's a beast. We get it. Just get it done. If you're going to come back, come back. Okay, here's my question to you. If you could only watch 3 games on Christmas, which 3 are you going with? Is it going to be an NFL sweep for some of you? I think it might be. So let's check in. Let's see what all of you are doing on the chat. We do have some Ry-Dohs coming up. I will take my medicine during one of those. Because I made a mistake on X. Yes, it wasn't that big of a mistake. You could see how it could happen. Kickers blend together, okay? Even the great ones, they blend together, especially when they play for the same teams at some point in their career. All right, let's check in. What do y'all want to talk about? You want to take the show somewhere else? Let me know. BJ in the house. What's up, Beach? I actually brought BJ up in the podcast that I recorded yesterday. Paul, what's up, man? Hope you had a good weekend. Patrick's on vacation, it looks like. That a boy, Patrick. Good time to go on vacation. too, in New York. Hot, humid. Get you some vacation. Is it a staycation? Or are you actually vacationing? Let me know. Okay, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, if you listen to the podcast that I recorded yesterday, it takes me a second to filter through these because you're all talking to each other. I love that. That's that community aspect. It's the best. Good job. Look, I can't even get staycation. Okay, got an answer there. Look at these are all you talking to each other. Good job by you. Patrick's in Greece with everybody else. Look, I finally found one that's talking to me. What's up, Flores? I found a present under the tree with my name on the tag. Are the Kings looking for a final roster spot? They're looking for 2, actually. That is still up in the air for them, so we will see what they decide to do. No rush on it either. Yeah, no rush. See if somebody can rise up in training camp. And especially that 2-way contract, that's the one that I'm super interested in. And I know we mentioned it last week. A lot of people disappointed that Markel Sutton signed an Exhibit 10 with the Chicago Bulls. Some of you a little bent. I heard somebody hit me up in my email and was like, Ryno, we just lost our Jalen Wells. He was going to be Jalen Wells. He was undrafted from a big school. How does that happen? Another Kings massive mistake. I didn't respond to it. I'll respond to it right now. I'm not going to question what the Kings do with their 2-ways and their undrafted players because they are right more than they are wrong with them. So we'll see how it works out. I mean, I sat here and I'm like, Jalen Slauson, dude, he's got the athleticism to be in the NBA, but he's got to be able to make the common play. He needs more fundamentals. Kings cut him at the end of the season. Like, they know what they're doing. So there's a reason. And you know what? Maybe Chicago really valued him a little bit more. Aaron Donald was using 150-pound dumbbells on a program I was watching. You're watching programs with dudes lifting weights, Patrick? Interesting. What's up, Gravy? Happy Tuesday. Dorian in the house. Happy Tuesday. Dorian, I was serious about that, man. Let's hit a Sac State game sometime this season. Ryno, what podcast? I missed it yesterday. Got to go listen on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Type in the King's Court with Ryno. We were audio only yesterday. So, Ryno, on the disconnect, you gonna be in the building on press row? On the disconnect? The disconnect. Do you mean Discord?
I'm not a smart man.
BJ? I think you mean Discord.
I'm not a smart man.
Will I be on press row popping into Discord? Probably. Not all the time, but probably. That's why you got to get in there. You never know when I'm going to pop up. Or I'll give you a heads up that I'm going to pop up. You'll get that notification if you are a founder with Discord. I believe I was watching the YouTube channel Unpaved with Sean Salisbury. Gotcha. Love Sean. Love what he does and the work that he is still doing. Anybody watch Hard Knocks? I watched the first episode of that. I enjoyed it. They kind of painted Coach McDonald is a little bit of an awkward dude. Makes sense. Guy's focused on football. Let's see. Yeah, disconnect. Discord. Same thing. It works. Okay. You know what? I'll allow that. If you are over 45 years old and you want to call it the disconnect, all good with me. I'm good with it. I just appreciate the effort. Ryno, do you think the Kings sign Ben Simmons? No, I do not. Looks like he's going to go play in Australia, or at least participate in some type of training camp over there. No, Ben Simmons is, if he comes back to the NBA, it would not be for the Kings. I don't see it. Okay, cool. All right, let's get into it. A couple things that I want to hit before we talk a little bit more about whatever you all want to talk about, because I don't have a ton of stuff on the docket today. So that's why I said take the show any way you want to go. If you're just joining us, we do have the Kings' first 2 games per Sean Cunningham. They will be at the Lakers on the 21st, and they will have the home opener on the 24th against the Warriors. All right, a lot of changes this time of year in media markets, some professional and some life, unfortunately. You know, all of us, if you can hear my voice, we're lucky to be on the right side of the dirt. And one of those guys, just a really solid old school writer for the AP for NBC Sports, California, Bay Area, etc. A guy that we weren't friends. He probably did not know my name, but we would talk from time to time. I would always be looking over at him because there were times that he would be sitting next to me at games. And I'm talking about Wags. Wags dealt with some health stuff before and beat it. But I would always look at the way he was taking his notes this past season in Section 105. And I'm like, okay, like that. And I'm literally looking at his notes. He probably knows that I'm looking, but I'm not stealing anything because it's like this own, he has his own little language of understanding or making notations about whatever he's looking for a story that he's writing. And he wasn't always in Section 105 because he covered basically all of the teams here in the area, but he passed away this weekend unexpectedly, by the way, too. So rest in peace, Wags. Awful stuff. I know that he was Jason Anderson has put out a couple things. A lot of others have put out a couple things. And again, you know, we weren't great friends. We've talked, we've kicked around basketball, but a lot of life in that man, and an old school grinder as a journalist, one of the old schools that was still up there, 59 years old, gone way too soon. So if you want, go to NBC California or NBC Sports California. There's a really good article out by Monty Poole and a couple of others that contributed to the article about his passing. So RIP Wags, RIP. Was an honor getting to watch you from afar for a season during my rookie season. Now, conversely, on the other side, business stuff, Jake Gordon, sports director, ABC, CBS 13. He announced yesterday. Yeah, Wags was great, man. He was great. He always sat like right behind me during the press conferences. I never asked him, or I never heard him ask a bad question. And his questions were either completely targeted at whatever his angle was with his story, or he would ask the questions that some people would not. And a lot of times he wouldn't ask any questions, but you would just see the wheels turning. And he, being a part of conversations with him and others down there in the press room, just shooting the shit. I think the last time was it the draft? It might have been the draft. Anyways, point is, I know you could see it. Way too early, 59. way too much still left in that tank. So, just a reminder, man. It's a big, big reminder. Conversely, Jake, he announced yesterday or a couple of days ago on X that he is leaving Sacramento. So just want to give my guy a huge shout out and a huge good luck on the next chapter. Jake was a made man in that group that covers this Kings team. He was always incredibly polite to me, very nice to me. In fact, he was in New York for the draft. He talked to a couple of the guys, Flemings, and he also, oh no, was it Flemings? No, he talked to Mikael Brown Jr. and he talked to Acuff the day or a couple of days before the draft. And, you know, I didn't want to like use the video without his permission, and I'm hitting him up and, you know, and he gets back to me, but, dude, he is so talented. So I don't know what is next for Jake, but dude's got the talent to be doing a lot more than the sports director at CBS 13. So keep tabs on him, Jake Gordon. So I miss seeing him around from time to time. Funny dude, too. Funny dude. Red Sox. Is he a Red Sox or a Yankees fan? Can't remember. So follow him if you haven't. And yeah, Jake, appreciate you, brother. Good luck on what is next. Go get it for those listening at Jake Gadden. Jake Gadden? Wait, Jake Gadden? Did I get trolled? Jake Gadden. It's a joke. Gadden. It's the accent. Go follow him. All right. Go follow him on X. All right. Might as well get here because it was a heck of a weekend with the Hall of Fame inductions. Go ahead, call it disconnect. You have my blessing. Call it disconnect if you would like to call it disconnect. Anyways, Hall of Fame inductions, really cool. But one guy stole the show, and it was Adam Vinatieri. Like, are you kidding me? The kicker. Show.
Hey, Pat McAfee's here in the crowd today. Great to see you, brother. The only person who enjoyed holding my balls more than my wife.
That was not the only one. That was not it. That was not it. How about this?
Unfortunately, Bill couldn't make it here today. There's a lot going on at UNC right now. He may be on a recruiting trip right now looking for the next Lawrence Taylor. I thought it was because training camp had already started. But in truth, it's because he's judging his girlfriend's cheerleading competition.
He had a great time. It was an awesome speech, the jokes, and I'm like, this is great. I'm like, here's my mistake. For whatever reason, I thought of this guy when I posted.
Idiot kicker who got liquored up and ran his mouth off. So what does the sports world come to? We're talking about our idiot kicker who got liquored up and ran his mouth off.
I thought it was the idiot kicker. I mixed up Vanderjack and Vinatieri. So Ryno, my man. Don't. How does that happen, Ryno? You got to be better than that. Vinatieri was the G. You got to know those two apart. But am I wrong that Adam Vinatieri, or excuse me, that Vanderjack, didn't he play at one point for the Patriots? Am I wrong there? I feel like I'm right that he played for the Patriots at some point. Peter, statistician, did Vanderjack play for the Patriots? Do I have a small out here? I thought he came back and played for the Patriots. Maybe I'm wrong. And didn't Adam play for the Colts too at some point? Help me out here. The greatest circus show on earth. The WNBA. Dude, I know. Grant talked about it last night. Until they make a change at the top, and I don't know how that works. He retired after the Colts. Okay, so he never played for the Patriots. I was wrong. Thank you. No, they both played for the Colts. Okay, I knew there was a tie there. Okay, I know Vanderjack was the idiot kicker. I knew that. I don't know what is it. The V's. Anyways, dude, let Adam host the Oscars. Let him host the ESPYs. Dude's funny. If there's ever a roast of like Bill Belichick, well, dude, why wasn't he on the Tom Brady roast? Was he on that roast? Anyways, that was good stuff. That was really, really good stuff. I know, bro. I know. Peter using my cell phone number sparingly. I kept it up too. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to own my mistake. And then, of course, fellow clone Raider Mike comes swinging off of a vine to be like, bro, you realize that that's not that guy. Like, yeah, I know. My bad. Another guy that passed away, Don Nelson. I know we talked about him briefly earlier, and I'm not going to spend a ton of time on Nelly. I thought Grant told a great story last night about Nelly and what happened in, what was it? It was in Washington, D.C. But he also shared how Nelly would experiment with stuff that nobody else would think of doing in the NBA. Specifically bringing and putting Steve Nash on Peja Stojakovic to start off a series between the Kings and the Mavericks. But, you know, I think back to Nelly, and I think back to the Nelly ball days and playing small, playing positionless basketball. I know him for what he did on the court as a coach. I'm not old enough to remember what he did on the floor as a player, which he was greatly successful as well. But I do know a guy that's probably going to have a lot of stories tomorrow about Nelly, and that's going to be Jerry Reynolds. So tomorrow we will talk more about Don Nelson with Jerry Reynolds. And I just love hearing the stories or hearing stories about him unplugging, taking off, loving the end of his life, living his life. I shouldn't say loving the end of his life, but living his life where and how he wanted with the things that he enjoyed, the people that he enjoyed around him. He lived in Maui. No secret that Nelly was also a fan of the Wowie that you can get in Maui. He's good friends with Willie Nelson. But, you know, Nelly he was Nelly. He had a lot of respect, man. Ton of respect around the league. And don't check now, but second winningest coach of all time. Bet that wouldn't have been on your bingo card if we just randomly asked that. Who is the second winningest coach of all time? How many people would have said Phil Jackson? How many people would have said, you know what I mean? There's a bunch of other names that you think of before you think of Nelly. But huge loss in the NBA world. Feels like we've had a lot of those in the past 18 months. A ton of them. But we'll talk to Jerry Reynolds tomorrow about Don Nelson. And and Jerry will have so much more insight about the basketball IQ and the innovation. And for me, that's the stuff that I love. That is just basketball at a high level. Put me in front of a whiteboard with Jerry Reynolds talking about different things that Nelly would do. I mean, you can see the whiteboard, by the way, like when Jerry's talking about, you ask him what would he like to see the Kings do. and it's bringing both of the bigs to the high post, like the Kings would do with Weber and Divac. And for whatever reason, they never do that. And that was a mixture of Adelman, but also there was a huge reliance on Coachy. That was a big thing with the Princeton offense and Coach Kirill. That's what they used to do at times. So, when Jerry's talking basketball, I don't know how it is for you, but when he's explaining those things to me, I just see him drawing it up on a whiteboard. And it's like, okay, got it. I see you going. But so maybe get your Nelly questions ready for Jerry tomorrow. He'll be here at 3:30. It's going to be super fun. Can't wait for that. Nelly ball. Yes, indeed. Nelly getting a lot of love around here. Do we know what happened to Dennis? Okay. I'll go Ryno Unplugged here. So I don't know what it was, but Dennis did not take well to an exchange with Grant last year. Like, he did not take well at all to it, because I think Grant called him a moron. That's what it was. Grant called him a moron. And Dennis went off. And I called him, I think I accidentally said it. I used to play the exchange all the time on here, because you had Grant going, Dennis, and Grant would be, Dennis be, Grant. And so, like, it was entertaining. It was fun. Like, there was levity. We weren't making fun of him, but somewhere I think he crossed that line, and he told me, like, I only took him to Stockton to make fun of him. And I'm like, dude, I did not take you to Stockton to make fun of you, my man. I had no idea you were going to get blasted in Stockton, and it turned into a good story. What am I supposed to do? I'm not going to sit there and not tell that story. I was polite about it, but, like, I could have been a lot more mean about that, because I was introducing him to people in the franchise. I was introducing him to people in the media. And by the first quarter, when I'm walking back from talking to somebody in the tunnel, and I see Dennis arguing with a security guard in the first row, and I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? Like, is he going to get ejected? And he's like, Ryno, thank you. Like, thank goodness you're here. He's like, dude, I've been telling the security guards our seats are right here. Like, Dennis, we're on the other side of the court, brother. Like, we're sitting next to the Kings bench. And like, he got really upset. So, Dennis, you ever show up again, brother? Would love to have you back on the Kings court. It's all love. I know you said you wanted to beat my ass. No anger here. Like, I think everybody kind of misses you around here. So maybe you are here under a different name. Who knows? But Tristan remembers it. I love you, Grant. Blocked. I remember the conversation. Grant tried making peace afterwards, but it wouldn't work. I know. And I don't want to make this into like a Dennis slugfest, but I'm also not going to lie to you. Like, that's the story. Like, dude said he was going to come to the radio station and take me out. So, I mean, come on, man. I think things have blown over, Dennis. I have always given Dennis a platform. I have been patient with Dennis. Like, you know what? If you have a word, if there's something that triggers you, then I understand that. If that word is moron, I won't use it anymore, Dennis. But, like, you use that word, Dennis would lose it. So, anyways. Dude, play that again. I don't know where it's at. I deleted it because I didn't want to be mean to Dennis. That's the thing. I wasn't trying to be mean. Didn't Grant block Dennis? and he never recovered? I don't know. It feels like Dennis is like the new Stanley. I was way more behaved when I met up with you in Stockton. Yes, you were more behaved for sure. Anyways, how did we even start talking about Dennis at this point? I don't know. Jeez. All right. Some people have been just brutal to Chris Berman online. Anybody check this out? So, videos of Berman going around greeting the fans in Canton. And look, Chris Berman, I don't know how old he is, broadcasting legend. He's going to have different lines that are going to live forever when it comes to ESPN and calling games and back, gone. You know what I mean? What's the other one that he does? Okay, now I'm gonna go to the YouTube. What else does I can't believe I'm forgetting Berman's greatest calls. Let's get some Chris Berman in here, man. Berman's greatest calls. And Berman, he likes to golf. He likes a couple cocktails. He likes a cigar. All right. Let's see if we can get a... Okay. Here's a good one. Oops.
And then...
There
Bears
you
still
go.
trying for a miracle field tackle.
Right
He's
there.
going to complete his second lateral of the day. His passer rating goes up on this play. I'm kidding. Bears trying to cross midfield. What? Now it's back. Give it to the quarterback. No, we got the running back. It's free. The big fella.
Or this.
14.
How about
So
this
she called
one?
throwing your receiver open.
Now, Jones. What? He's gone. He could go all the way. 75 yards, packed by 10.
Great block by the right.
So, Berman deserves respect, but he got roasted for no reason on social. Everybody on social has been asking if Chris Berman has a back end. I mean, yeah, that's a good one. Rumbling, fumbling, tumbling. Good job. Good job. You know why I'm forgetting about the Berman calls? Because watching Primetime now with him and Booger McFarlane, it's behind a paywall. You can't just see it on ESPN. But the stuff that he did with, oh my gosh, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. The old Denver Bronco. They were so good together. Somebody's going to pick me up there. But the NFL primetimes for years that he did with him, oh my gosh. Just the best. But I saw some of the meanest but funny comments, like Berman being compared to the Sasquatch walking video. Berman in a lowrider because he's sagging. I'm just like, oh my gosh, guys, leave the man alone. Randy Jackson. Was it Randy? No, but Berman. Doctor's name is Seymour Butts. The Swami, that's right. Good pull by you, BJ. The Swami, I remember that. But gosh, man, this is where the internet is just brutal. A bunch of piranhas going in on Chris Berman. Dude's 71, as Tristan said. and still on the right side. Thank you. I was going to thank you. I'm like, there's no way it was Randy Jackson, because I remember him always calling him something J, and RJ was not it. It was TJ. Tom Jackson. Good job. Good job, Pat. You know what? Well done. So anyways, Chris Berman taking it on the internet. It made me go dough. I'm like, poor guy. Now, I know he has there's word out there that sometimes he's not the nicest guy, but come on, man. You're going to go in on a 71-year-old at the Hall of Fame? Got to be something better to do than going in on the 71-year-old. Anyways, so those are the Ry-Dohs. By the way, everybody's already hopping on this about Christmas Day. It's Bronny versus LeBron on Christmas. The NBA did it on purpose. We've got our tin hats on. They wanted to make sure the Jameses were together at home on Christmas and get to open presents together in the morning. But we made it a 5 p.m. game. If I could pick 3 games from here, and those listening on the podcast, it is Spurs Knicks, Bears Packers, Heat Celtics, Bills and Broncos, Sixers Lakers, Thunder Timberwolves, Rams Seahawks, and Denver Golden State. If I could pick 3 games, it's pretty easy. I'm going Green Bay and Chicago. Definitely going Seahawks and Rams. Is it going to be an NFL sweep? Okay. Here's the only thing about the Knicks. It's a 12 o'clock game. Give me a night game in New York. It's such an early game. But 12 o'clock, you're usually done opening presents and having breakfast by then, or brunch. So, or do I want to go Bills? Bills, Broncos. Which way are you? Is it an NFL sweep? Just curious. Knicks always play the noon game. Surprised. It didn't move up this year. Interesting. Will the Kings ever get a Christmas Day jersey? I think they will. Will the Kings have a Christmas Day jersey in the next 10 years? My answer? I think they will. I think they'll get a Christmas Day jersey. LeBronda and Bronny. NFL sweep, Tristan says. The Bears. The Denver. The Sea Pigeons. What about the Niners, man? Are the Niners going to be able to make it through? If they can make it through their first 3 games going 2-1 to buy some more time to get healthy, I think you'll be all right. But if I'm looking at the NFC West as it sits today, they're below Seattle. They've got to be below Seattle. They're below Seattle. So my NFC West is the Rams, Seahawks, Niners, Cardinals. And I don't know if there's really a better division in all of football. I know some will argue the NFC North, but Minnesota. So Minnesota is the team where I have a hard time evaluating because JJ McCarthy, like this whole okay, let's look at the Cleveland situation with the quarterback competition, whatever you want to call it. Deshaun Watson. I cannot stand the man. The dude should be in a jail cell. He should not be on a football field. The Browns putting him, the Browns not only signing him to a guaranteed contract, but the Browns sheltering his money that first year because he was suspended for basically a season. That was just bad. It's bad form. And you know what bad form turns into? It turns into awful karma. And with Deshaun Watson, it seems like the dude can't stay on the field. And if he is on the field, it's like his mind is somewhere else. It's in a massage parlor in an unsavory part of the town, even though he's playing football. Like, dude's off. Dude has the worst karma ever. So I will sit here and tell you, even if Deshaun Watson is the starting quarterback in Cleveland, by game 4, that dude is going to be hurt. So now it comes down to Sanders and Dylan Gabriel. I don't see it with Dylan Gabriel. When Dylan Gabriel throws a football, and I don't mean this with any disrespect, he looks like he's shot putting the football. It's not, and he's a lefty, so love for my lefties, but he does not look the part. He doesn't, if you're going to be smaller, have the escapability that you would want, like a Russell Wilson used to have, like some of your smaller quarterbacks have now. So I think ultimately it's going to be Shadur's team. And I know that comes with a lot of antics. It comes with, I've been talking about the craziest fan bases. You have the Swifties, you have the Westies, and then you've got the Shaduris. I mean, they're right up there. Like, there is a group of them that will come after you if you hate on the guy. They're just ride or die with him. But I think it's going to end up being his team. So I'm talking about a quarterback situation like that, and I digress and go back to Minnesota because JJ McCarthy cannot stay on the field. And if you don't have JJ McCarthy, who do you have? You now have Arizona's old quarterback. You've got Kyler. And it's like, okay, that feels like a decent fit for what they're doing in Minnesota, what KOC is doing. Shout out, good Aztec, part of the Aztec family, Kevin O'Connell. So that's going to end up being Kyler Murray's team. So, like, if I look at the NFC West and I look at the NFC North, and most fans are assuming that you're going to see the version of the Bears that you saw at the end of the season last season. A lot of people feel after seeing Caleb Williams make that throw that he's taken that next step. Most of the great football minds that we've tapped into over the years, whether it's Chris Landry, Sean Salisbury, they have all said that Caleb Williams' problem is not making the unbelievable plays. It's making and taking the simple plays. So you've got the Bears up there in the NFC West. What about the Packers? Is Jordan Love going to be able to stay healthy? What's happening in there? The Lions. Is this the last year for that window to stay open? Jahmyr Gibbs gets a massive contract at the running back position. Jared Goff, can he get back to a Super Bowl and win it this year? So you've got 3 really good teams at the top of the division, and then you've got Minnesota. So, like, if I look at the West and the North, now I have to compare Minnesota and Arizona. Which team is better out of those 2 teams? I don't know. I mean, logically, based off of the last couple of years, you'd probably say Minnesota because of what Darnold did with them. But are the Rams, Niners, or I'm going to go in order, Rams, Seahawks, and Niners, better than, how would I put the North? The North, I'm going to go, I can't put Chicago at the top. Micah coming off of the major injury. I'm going to go, damn, the Lions, man, they have just been so inconsistent in big games. See, it's a toss-up, but if I took today, if I said the Rams versus the Lions, who's winning that game? I'm probably going Rams. Rams-Packers, probably going Rams. Rams-Bears, probably going Rams. Don't need to talk about Minnesota. So I think the West is the best division. Now, Seattle and those teams, I think Seattle probably 3-1. Or excuse me, 2-1 against those three teams. I don't think there's a better division than what you have right here in the West. But I think that other division is going to be pretty damn fun to watch too. You could easily see three. You know what? You will see. Will you? Will we see three teams out of the NFC West this season? I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited for football to be back. Santa is checking his schedule, saying he's got a rush back because everybody's getting up for the Knicks game on the West Coast. You know there is like a legit Santa tracker. Yeah, we go to it from time to time. Deshaun Watson is the type of intangible you don't want in the locker room. Yeah, I 100% agree. Like in a sport where nothing pay-wise is usually guaranteed, like if you were going to give someone a guaranteed contract, like he doesn't even check 3 of the 5 boxes for me on the field at the time that they did that. Like the only guaranteed contract I would give in the NFL at the quarterback position is Patrick Mahomes. You know why? Patrick Mahomes has showed this freaky ability to heal very quick. Guy can get an injury like a high ankle sprain and end up missing not even a week, where other guys, Deshaun Watson, would be out for a ton of time. You know, it can JJ McCarthy, 6 weeks. So he's probably the only one that I would give a guaranteed contract to, for sure. So, LOL, the shirties. I know it doesn't sound great. It does not sound great. What a waste of talent. McCarthy has a lot of untapped potential if he can stay on the field. I don't know, Patrick. Does he? The Westies, LOL. The jock sniffer is a Westie. Yes, but I'm dude. The Westies are real. They just multiply and multiply and multiply. And they all have the same attitude. They've got the same chip on their shoulder. They're nasty. Like, I had them come after me twice last season. I'm like, I'm not doing this again. The Jets should look at McCarthy in 2027. Not if he can't stay on the field. That's the problem. Like, Patrick, I am not saying that I think there's something there. But this is now 2 seasons, and we'll see what he does this year if he can stay healthy. Last thing you want is a quarterback wrapped in bubble wrap, and he is closer to the bubble wrap than the ice bath, if you get what I mean. Anyways, all right, so we're going to do something different to wrap up the day because I'm not sure that everybody heard the podcast from yesterday. I really enjoyed recording this podcast, and it ties together some of the things that I value. It ties together what I value most about this show, which we've already seen today on this show, which was me looking through comments, trying to find one directed at me rather than all of you talking to each other. Like that is the stuff that I like. It's not about building just a show. More importantly, it's about building a community. And so, because I was off yesterday, and I know Tristan listened to it, and you can check out if you have already heard it, but I think a lot of people have not heard this. So I want to play it for you one more time to end the show. It's good stuff. I think it's really good stuff. I think you'll get it when you hear it. And just to recap as well, Sean Cunningham again, sources saying that the Kings will open the 26-27 season on October 21st in LA against Clippers. Home opener at Golden One Center is set for October 24th against the Golden State Warriors. Here are your opening night games: Sixers, Knicks, Thunder, San Antonio. No surprise there. We talked about Wags passing away. Rest in peace, my man. One of those guys around here that was just really knew his stuff inside and out. Grinder, old school journalist. Don Nelson's passing. We hit all that. We've got Jerry Reynolds coming up tomorrow as well. But as I said, I'm going to play yesterday's podcast because I know a lot of you did not catch it. And there's a lot of ties between this show and the Jim Rome show. And community is what I try to get across because I see it building here and I'm very grateful for it. It's really cool. It's what makes a show. And when you have a community around the show, that produces a great show on its own, besides the topics that you bring up. It's only about 20, 21 minutes, 22 minutes. So it's not that long. So we'll get it loaded up for you. And yeah, this was a podcast again that I recorded yesterday. And I hope that you enjoy it. It was something that I felt was really good and give some more backstory. It's a little more Q&A, stuff that I never get to really answer on here. So anyways, without further ado, here was yesterday's version of the King's Court, audio only.
On if you don't like that. Now, Ryan in Sacktown.
Oh, must be Ryno.
One Monday closer to NFL football, maybe one Monday closer to the Niners being a player healthier. I don't know what's happening, Ryno, with you. Audio only today for the King's Court. Thanks for finding it on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast. Hope you had a great weekend. Grant and I will be back tonight at 7 o'clock. Certainly talking about the passing of Don Nelson, the second winningest coach in NBA history. He passed away at 86 years old, and a guy that, quite frankly, from the outside looking in, always did it his way. So we'll get to that tonight. Again, 7 o'clock if you don't like that with Grant. No 3 p.m. show. Rarely do we not do shows, but when we do, it's for a good reason. My cousin recently passed away after a valiant fight with cancer. And cancer is something that has affected all of us directly, indirectly. It's a word that's known almost universally at this point, and I hope we are a Monday closer to a cure for it. And as I get ready to gather with my family, it made me think about family. And I also checked my email, and I get 2 to 3 emails a week about Jim Rome sound that ends up on my show. I get emails about, hey, did you make this call to Jim Rome? And so it's funny that I'm reading those emails when I'm in a family mindset, because I am so grateful for the Jungle family, for Jim Rome, his team over the years being so kind to me to allow me to be part of his platform in the smallest of ways. And in many ways, I probably don't cross paths as many times as I did with Grant. And I probably am not sitting up here talking with Grant. And I'm so grateful for that group, those experiences, and where we're at now. And I'm thankful for all of you, those that watch the live show, whether you watch it live or you catch it on replay on YouTube. It's more common than not when I'm rolling through the comments and I'm looking for the questions or the comments that there's like 1 to 2 of those for every 3 or 4 comments where each of you are talking to each other, where you've built relationships. Hey, did you end up doing that this weekend? Hey, aren't you supposed to be off? Aren't you on vacation? Like, what I'm saying is there's a sense of community that has been built around the King's Court, not in magnitude in which Jim Rome has built a brand or Grant has built a brand, but the fact that that's happening makes me very grateful. And so, because of all the Jim Rome questions, I'm like, well, maybe this is the perfect platform. And yes, you can go back and look through the library of shows here on the King's Court. There's an episode called The Deposition of Ryan in Sacktown. It explains really my launching point, my experience that some people would pay thousands of dollars for, getting to sit with Jim Rome and talk about the Sacramento Kings in Sacramento in studio for almost 5 minutes. I mean, how many people that listen to that show are terrified to pick up the phone and call? How many people that listen to that show have sent an email, a fax over the years, have tried calling, have gone through the means to interact with the show and be a part of what makes it to there, and they never get the chance to? So go check that out if you want more of a background. But speaking of family, there's so many conceptions and misconceptions of the Jim Rome show and the quote unquote clones. Now, I am not sitting here acting like I am some big clone and recognized by many, because I'm not. What I want to get across to you is, the clones aren't the responsible clones, the clones that get it. They're not the ones that are holding on the call line for him for 15 hours a week. Yes, that would be all 3 hours of his show, 5 days a week. It's the ones that, see beyond that. They see the show as a place where we gather and we get to have some fun. It's our playground to kick around sports and discuss them in a way that is different than any other place that is offered. And sure, there is elements of that on my show, but within those clones, there is a big group of Jungle family that I have, that I go to, that I speak to commonly, that I might speak to every day, actually, in some cases, that are very important to me, that are doing great things. in this world. And when good things happen in our life, we're there to celebrate. And when bad things happen, we're there to rally. And so I thought I'd take you through some of the funnier moments that have happened during the time, or at least the recent time, on the Jim Rome show, and explain to you that there is some depth to who we are and what we are about, most of us. Now, again, there is that 10% that I can't speak for because I'm not part of them. I'm not hateful. I'm not spiteful. I'm not looking for opportunities to tear people down, whether it be publicly or privately. But it is funny because when the Kings started getting good, I became the face of that because Grant and I were doing shows. So, of course, what am I going to do? Because Sacramento does not get a ton of run on the Jim Rome show, especially the Sacramento Kings. Who wants to talk about the Sacramento Kings? But damn it, when you haven't made the playoffs in 16 years, you know that I am going to be calling up and letting everybody know, reminding everybody that the Kings are relevant. Look out. The Kings are coming. This was the summer, the year of the Beam Team, and Jim actually opened the show with the Kings.
Let's go to Ryan in Sacktown. What's going on, Ryan?
What is up, JR? Unlike that Modesto replant Chester, us longtime King fans and clones who sold out the barn in 2001 twice to come see you in those satin purple threads, who packed the studio on January 6th, 2017 with cowbells and helped you christen the Golden One Center. Those same clones, we appreciate the rare times you open the show with something good from Sacramento. And let me tell you, there's a reason that Sacramento has the best offensive rating in NBA history and is about to break the 40-game barrier for the first time since 2006, with 15 games left to play in the season. It's foundation and culture. While other teams in the West were looking on the micro level and they were reloading and now recalibrating, the Kings kept the core together. They are gelling and they are freaking polishing right now, which is why we are 7-1 since the break. War Sacramento, unwar the Kings, drafting any Roadrunners, any Bulldogs, or any Highlanders. I'm out. Rack me.
I see what he did there. Did you see what he did? He took a run at those cities by saying, do not draft any of their players. I see what you did there, Ryan. It's a good call. I don't mind racking that, Alvin. Good call.
So, of course, when the Kings got bounced in 7 games, my guy V, who has been a part of this podcast here on the Kings Court, we broke down the Kings and Lakers, you know, their rivalry, why it's dead. Can it get back to it? We did that last year, maybe 2 years ago. But even though I'm getting all that via text, I'm getting all that on social, I had to take my jungle medicine.
What a weekend. Your Warriors, Jim, versus my Lakers. I could talk about that. I could talk about Ja Moron shooting his team out of the game and his take of I'm finding the West aging worse than the diarrhea that's left on the lawn of the Boston Marathon. Or I could talk about Dylan Bitch, Dylan Bricks, Dylan Brooks, getting that 40-piece dropped on his head. Or maybe I should talk about the Sacramento Queens and the face of their fan base, Ryan and Blue Sacktown. Where you been, my boy? You guys were lying the beam, tipping cows, looting farmhouses, flipping tractors when you guys were up 2-0, starting a riot in your city, and you guys have been dead quiet ever since. Oh my goodness. Instead of lighting the beam, now they're leaving bouquets of tumbleweeds in front of the Golden One Center. RIP to the Kings season, their best season in 17 years, and you blow a 2-0 lead. Even Ian Poulter thought you blew that pretty quick. But no, I don't want to talk about that.
Roasted, totally roasted. But again, when I talk about the Jungle fam, that's not hate. That's actually love. That is actually us being able to present on a larger level to a standard which Jim has seen as good enough. And that means a lot. If you can make a call to the Jim Rome show, there's probably a lot more you can do with a microphone in front of you. And so when we have those fun times and we, get together usually about once a year, if somebody's in town, because we're all over the nation, awesome. But when we're going through the ringer and things are happening individually, we rally. And I went through, as many of you know, a tough few years where I had to have 2 hip replacements in a matter of 6 weeks. They thought about doing both hips at the same time. It was that bad, but I was so grateful for being able to have access to the healthcare that we did, the surgeons, my family, my friends, my Jungle family. So, of course, coming out of surgery, I'm going to thank them in a way that I only can. Who doesn't come out of surgery and say, you know what? I'm going to lob them a call so they know that I made it through.
So I got an idea. Why don't we go right to Ryan in Sacktown to see how that goes? He's already on hold. Ryan in Sacramento. Ryan, what's up? How'd that feel?
Lane, man, good call, man. You got some whatever that is, but there may be a little urine dribbling, but hey, Lane, you know what? It's all right, dude. We're all friends here. Rome, I wanted to just straight up war the medical team here. The Jungle karma was strong with my hip replacement. In fact, I printed out a golden ticket, gave it to the team, and you know what I rolled into surgery to? Baba O'Reilly. So, anyways, successful surgery. Thank you for the karma. Thank you for the team. By the way, Stuck Up Boys, great show last night. War, whatever the hell is running through my IP right now. War being ready for the 30th. Love y'all. Minus Riverside, Bakersfield, and Fresno. I am out.
The only thing missing from that is this real life? Is this real life? War, whatever is pumping through my blood system or my bloodlines or my IV or my HV or my HVAC or whatever I'm on right now, war that. Can I get some more of whatever it is I'm on right now? Yo, dude, where's my hip? Where's my old hip? Is that my new hip? Where do I keep the old hip? Does the old hip, is it like a spare tire? Do I put it in the closet? Hey, can I get some more of whatever it is you gave to me? What do you mean? I didn't urinate down my leg. I sound great. I feel great. I rolled into the operating room bumping Baba O'Reilly. Ain't nothing but love, Lane. It's all good. You know why it's all good? I'm pilled out of my freaking mind. You know why it's all good, Lane? Percocet, brah. That's why it's all good. Wow, is this real life? Did I call the Jungle? You know what? I'll bet. I bet I can call the Jungle again. No, dude, seriously, I bet he calls next hour and doesn't even know that he just called. I'll bet you we hear from Ryan in Sacktown next hour, and he does not know he just made that call. Never mind that whatever he's all hopped up on, that produced his best call ever. Whatever he's all hopped up on.
You'll get an answer to the Riverside, Bakersfield, and Fresno comments in a minute. But do you see the twine? Do you see the common theme that I'm getting to? I'm trying to tie together the fact that I love what's happening on the King's Court and all of you that take time out of your day to listen, to watch, to participate, because it's not just about, for me, doing a show that's informative, giving you the best Kings analysis and information that you can find, especially on a free platform. Besides Discord, make sure you check out Discord. We'll be talking about that very, very heavily in the coming weeks. And thank you to our founders already on Discord. But it's about also building a community around it. In fact, I would argue building the community around the show is as important as having a good show. Those two might be mutually exclusive because, again, it is great to see all of you checking in with each other, especially on the live show. That is one of those things every single day, even if it is the dog days of summer, as we sit here on 8/10/2026, and up until now, no major news other than the passing of Don Nelson has broke. It's the dry season, but it's what grinds me. It's what makes me want to get up, do this, make it entertaining, be vulnerable when needed. Because as much as some of you look to the show to come hang out and get your day to go by faster, to maybe lighten the mood, I look just as much forward to doing the same with all of you. If you say, BJ, I really appreciate the show because of the setting that I work in, it lightens things. I need the show. It helps me deal with things. Well, guess what? All of you help me deal with things too. So thank you. And when life happens beyond surgeries, beyond illness, you know that a group is going to gather and rally around each other. And the same is so true about my jungle family and the community that I've built with some of the other people that are now some of my best friends from the Jim Rome show. Vulnerability. You forget that it's not calling a national show. It is literally making the conversation better. Maybe if one person hears this, it might cause them to open up about something they're going through. And when things happen on a national basis, usually you run to a sports show, you run to something on the television other than the news to take you away from that. But some things transcend that. Some things need to be talked about. And there's certain places in certain communities that you can count on. I'll never forget the Uvalde shooting back in 2022. It affected all of us parents, grandparents, anybody that's sending a child, a loved one to school, has a friend with a child that you send to school. And when it's too much, it's never a bad thing to speak up. I had to speak up. This is what my jungle family is all about.
Phone call. We go to Sacramento. Ryan in Sacktown. Ryan, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Jim. How you doing?
I'm all right. How about you?
Hanging in there, brother. These things are never easy. We're a big jungle family. A lot of us clones. I had to hit up Moda, Frank in Boise, and Matt in LA just to get some advice because my wife and I knew that we needed to sit down my 7-year-old and talk to him about this. And we asked him if he would be in that situation at school, what would he do? And he said he wouldn't be scared. And we said, why wouldn't you be scared? And he goes, look, I can just hit reset like on Mario Brothers and get another life. And it was one of the hardest conversations that I had to have with him. And now he is in his bedroom scared because he does not want to go to school today. And quite frankly, I can't blame him. So my heart goes out to the victims of everything, or of what happened. And my heart goes out to the survivors too, because we're talking about children that saw things that nobody should ever see. And they're going to be affected the rest of their lives because of that. So thank you so much for your opening take and bringing attention to this. And yeah, I'm out, brother.
You're right. I appreciate you. This is what I mean when I say that I know what they pay me to do. I know what my job is. And I know that a lot of you want to get away from whatever it is you're dealing with, because we're all dealing with something. And then you come to me 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, an hour of the day, maybe even longer, to get away from that. And after what happened yesterday, and you thought about it all night, and you tried to process it, and you tried to make sense of it, maybe for some of you, the last thing you wanted was to come to me to get away from that and then have me hit you over the head with it. But I think also a lot of you come here because we are just that. We're a jungle family. And there's more to us than some of these dumb resets, some of these matchups, some of the trash talk, the smack off. And it's in times like this where we do come together and we need each other. Like that guy, I don't know if you picked up on that. That was Ryan in Sacramento. You know, Ryno in Sacktown, a guy who's best known for cracking on Fresno, Riverside, Modesto. That's his brand. Bakersfield. And when something like this happened, what did he say? He said, I had to reach out to some of the other members of the jungle family and try and figure out how to talk to my child about this. And that story that he just shared, where he said his son said, no, I would not be afraid. Well, why would you not be afraid? I would just hit reset and get another life, like on Mario Brothers. And he had to tell his son, no, that's not how that works. That wouldn't work. And then when his son started to understand exactly what happened, he said, well, I don't want to go to school. I'm afraid. Right. You know, the other point that he made was a point that's been made repeatedly, and it's so true. Imagine the kids that survived that attack. Imagine the kids that saw their friends gunned down in cold blood. Imagine those children that were witnesses to that mass murder, that massacre. And now will live with that for the rest of their lives. I mean, imagine the parents, the anguish screams from the parking lot. And the hour goes by, and then a second hour and a third hour, and they can't find their child. I can't even imagine what that would be like.
Awful stuff. But within the ashes, within the bad, you have to find the beauty. And the beauty is community. The beauty is togetherness. The beauty is vulnerability. The beauty is trust. And to tie this all together at the most minimum, smallest level, yes, I am part of the Jim Rome Show. I have been part of the Jim Rome Show to a much lesser degree. Well, a lesser degree, kind of. Anytime something happens with the Kings, now I get blamed.
Ryno, brother, I like you, Ryno. I like you as a dude. You're barely qualified to call this show. What are you doing in Sacramento as a member of the media?
No, you don't know me.
Ryno's like, you don't know me.
No, you don't
know me, Rome. Yeah,
but
yes, I do,
me, right?
Ryno. Hey, are
you anywhere around
Ryno, I know you, dude.
Yeah, I started. That was me. That was Russ who went after me in that press conference. Anyways, the point I was getting at is the fact that we are building this really cool community. So I want to thank you. I feel comfortable being honest with all of you on a personal level as well. Ultimately, always on a professional level But it's not lost on me, and I am so grateful that I see so many of those tiny little organisms of the best shows and best communities, more so on the community side, building within this show and this podcast. So I hope you have a wonderful Monday. Can't wait to be back with you tonight, 7:00. Grant and I will be doing our Grant and Ryan show. So looking forward to it. Stay cool. It is hot. Hydrate. Be well. We'll be back 7 p.m. Give us a like. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a comment if something resonated with you here today. We'll see you later tonight, 7 p.m. Thanks again. Court is dismissed.